how to discover your purpose and change your life. The reason why this is so important to me is because I went through a process at one point in my life where I would literally cry because I just didn't know what my purpose was. And so I am committed more than ever to help you figure out what your purpose is in life, because I mean, the truth be told, somebody is waiting for you to actually share your purpose. I am Dr. Kiki Ramsey. I am an executive coach and I'm a positive psychologist. And a lot of people will ask me, what is positive psychology? Psychology is a deficit model. When you think about psychology, you think about depression, anxiety, all these ailments. But when you think about positive psychology, you think about the opposite. What goes right with you? What are our strengths? How do we live the good life? And so that's what we think about when we're thinking about positive psychology. So I have committed my life to really exploring happiness, what makes us happy, what makes us succeed, and ultimately what our purpose in life is, because I think it's so important for us to know that. Because like I said, your purpose is to help someone else in this lifetime and to make the world a better place. You were placed on this planet to be a beacon of light for someone else. Here's what we get mixed up on. We get mixed up on the vehicle. The vehicle is how you share your purpose with someone else and with the world. That's what I call the vehicle. And our vehicle is different for all of us. When I first started off trying to figure out what my purpose was, I knew that I could communicate. Like I knew that I had this gift of communication. My very first vehicle was speaking. Now my vehicles have expanded. So I speak, I write books, I teach, I coach. All those are my vehicles and ways that I share my purpose in life. Now, here's the thing. You're fortunate enough, if your job is the vehicle that you love and the way that you share your gifts and talents with the world, then I think that that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But just know that it's not that case for everybody. But here's the thing about that. You can change it. I know sometimes we think we can't change. That's my next class coming up, is how we can change our jobs, our careers at any age. So make sure you tune in to the next class that I'm teaching. But for this class, you can change a job, you can change your vehicle at any time. You just have to be willing to go through the trouble and the drama that it may cause for you to change it up. Let's go back. Your purpose in life is to help somebody else. What we want to do here is what I'm committed to helping you figure out is, how do you want to do that? What is the best way for you to be able to help someone else? I'll share a story with you. Some of you know that I grew up sleeping on a couch in a crack house while my mom was upstairs getting high. That was the way that I was raised. And so over the years, my sole goal was to help my mom get off of drugs. That was my sole purpose in life, was to help my mom get off of drugs. And that act of me helping her get off of drugs was the catalyst for me going in and really figuring out what my purpose was, which was to help other women succeed, and ultimately has become to help other women discover their purpose in life and find careers that they love. And when I say careers, that could be a business, that could be a job, whatever that is for you. And so it has, further developed as I've gone on. But had I not started helping my mom, I might not know that this is a passion and this is what the Lord has placed on my spirit to do for the rest of my life. And so you have to learn what that is for you. What is your vehicle? You can do this thing and it will absolutely change your life, because me discovering ultimately what my purpose is in the right vehicle changed my life, and it also changes other people's lives. So it is important that you do that. The first thing that I need you to do is I need you to explore your passions. This is me giving you homework. So when you get into a real coaching session, if you were to ever coach with me on a real basis, we would co-create this, meaning I wouldn't just tell you what to do. You would, together we'd co-create this. But because we are not in a real coaching session, I'm going to give you some homework and some assignments to do, because in order for you to really dig in to what it is that you're supposed to do, you got to do some work around it. It took me some years to get to this place right here where I know definitively what the Lord has done and what I'm supposed to do in the earth. So you're going to have to do some work, and I want you to commit to that, because this is the only way that you're going to get to where you want to go, is that you do this work. And so this is me coaching you on what you need to do next. And so first of all, I need you to truly, truly, truly reflect on the activity activities that make you feel energized and fulfilled. So I want everybody to get something to kind of write with. I'm hoping that you already have something, but if you do not do that, I'm telling y'all, I don't want to waste my breath and I don't want to waste your time. I am coaching you. This is me coaching you. If you ever had a coach, this is me doing that. If you are committed to that, drop it in the comments. Committed to doing the work, because that is the only way you're going to get to where you need to be. So get a journal, get something to write with. What I need you to do is I need you to write in your journal. This is your journal prompt. What would you do for free just because you loved it? I would do this for free, and I'm doing this for free just because I love it. I would coach for free just because I love it, but I don't. I don't have to, right? Not anymore. I'm at a place where I don't, but I do mentor some young women who are in college, who go to my alma mater and stuff like that. And so I still give back, but there's a lot of things. Everything that I do in my life, I could do it for free because I love it so much. What is that thing for you? Because we have to start figuring that out. Okay. Number 2, you have got to recognize your strengths. And what do I mean by that? You are strong at something. All of us are strong at something. You have something that is your strength. My strength is communication. I know how to communicate with people. I am highly emotionally intelligent. I know when something wrong with you. I know when something going up. I can just sense it and I'll be like, what's wrong? People will be like, how you know something wrong? Because I know. I've been doing this thing for too long. It is a gift of mine. But here's the thing. Sometimes y'all think that just because you can do something like that, you don't feel like it's a gift. It is a gift. And you need to recognize your gifts. You got to recognize that thing. There is an assessment that I love. It's called the VIA Strengths Assessment, VIA. So just look up the VIA Strengths Assessment, or you can also do the Clifton Strengths Finder. So it kind of gives you your character strengths, right? Things like zest, love of learning, all of those things that I think are important. I do a lot of work in DE&I. I have all my client and our client organizations take the VIA Strengths Assessment, because when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, I think that knowing your character strengths are very, very important. You got to find that out, right? You got to figure out what you're actually good at, because what you're good at is a sneak peek to what your ultimate purpose is. Because I'm good at speaking, I can do a lot of things around speaking and communicating, right? And if I wasn't good at this, then, I'd have to do something different, but it would be a strength of mine. Don't operate outside of your strengths all the time. Don't try to always fix everything that's wrong with you. Look and figure out what your strengths are. Now, here's the thing. Positive psychology doesn't say that we don't work on weaknesses. We still do. We still work on things that are weaknesses. But at the end of the day, I sit at a place, and you may also sit at a place where you can hire for your weaknesses. That's what I do. If I am not strong at something and I can get somebody else to do that thing, and that is their strength, baby, that's what I'm going to do. Now, we don't all have the luxury to do that. And I totally understand that. But if you do have the luxury to hire for your weaknesses, do that, and you focus on your strengths. But you got to know what you're strong at. Stop operating over here in a place where you're not strong at. That's why you're struggling. That's exactly why you're struggling, because you decide that you want to do something that you're not strong at. Let's switch that around this year. Let's only start operating in our strengths. So in your journal or your notebook or whatever, after you do the assessment, Clifton Strengths Finder is a fee, but it's worth it. The VIA Strengths Assessment is not a fee. So once you finish taking the assessment, make a list of 3 things that you excel at, and then brainstorm how you can use those 3 things to contribute to others, to make other people's lives better, which ultimately will allow you to make the world a better place. That's number 2. And then the last thing I want you to do is to really reflect on how you want to be remembered. I've done this exercise before when it has come to my purpose and stuff like that. And I really had to reflect on, how did I want to be remembered when I'm gone from here? And I just, at the end of the day, I want to be remembered for making a difference in people's lives. I want to be remembered for helping people really discover what they were placed on this earth to do. I want to be remembered for helping people get out of jobs that they hate. I don't understand that. Like, why sit in a job that you hate? And I get it. We all got to make money, but there's plenty of ways to make money, but you got to get the mindset right. At some point, we're going to start talking about a poverty mindset and everything like that, and how to overcome that, because I had to overcome that to be where I am right now. But that's a whole nother class that I'm planning planning for y'all at some point in time. But at the end of the day, you got to think about how you want to be remembered. So in your journal or your notebook, I want you to write down, what problems in the world do you feel deeply connected to solve? And that brings me back to my purpose-driven and passion-driven questions. In my book, Get Courageous Now, A Woman's Guide to Finding Her Passions and Purpose in Life, you can get this on Amazon, and it's also on Audible. In chapter 2, I have what I created, which is passion-driven and purpose-driven questions. There are about 15 to 16 of the passion-driven and purpose-driven questions in this book. And one of those questions is, what problems would you solve in the world? Like what makes you hurt? What's the pain that you feel? These questions can help further guide you along this path of you discovering your purpose. And so you might want to go ahead and check out and get the book. But when I answered that for myself, I couldn't help but to think back on how I truly hated to see my mom struggle with drug addiction. That thing made me cry all the time, and I lived it with her. I lived that thing with her. That one thing pushed me to want to solve that problem for other people. So it started off with helping other women in their drug addiction. That's where I started my social work career, and ultimately ended my social work career to just helping women discover their God-given gifts and really the career that makes them shine. That's what I want you to write in your journal. So you got a couple of prompts to write in your journal. Here's your final assignment. When you do that, come back to this class and post in the comments that you finished it and tell me the outcome. Because here's the thing about accountability. It's important. It's important. If you're accountable to no one, then most of the time stuff don't get done. And I know some of y'all feel independent and y'all don't need nobody and all this kind of stuff. Lies. The lies we tell. Because we need each other. We need each other. So I need you to do this homework and come back in the chat and be accountable for this. If you wrote committed, come back in the chat and be accountable for this. And don't let a lot of time pass. You got to act swiftly on some of these things, because I know a lot of times we do the work or we don't do the work and we say, oh, we feel excited in the moment, and then you don't do it. And then the time passes, and then you ain't done it, and you still stuck. You still where you're at. And I don't want that for you. So I really want you to come back to write it here, right? And then the last thing I'm gonna say before I hop off here is that I do this all the time. I do this in a community that I have called Thrive Society. Thrive Society, I coach every single month. It's private coaching just for the community. You can get on there. I do classes just like this. You can ask questions. I get to coach you personally based on what you bring, based on our monthly theme for it. We also have a workbook that you can download every single month where you check in, and it's a scale on how you're doing in certain areas of your life, which helps me learn what private classes that I'm teaching in the community. I'm personally in there every day, motivating you and cheering you on. And I'm giving you prompts to do within the community as well. This is where I love to be at, because I get to do it with a group of women that I get to know better. So I'm inviting you to join Thrive Society. So if you're interested in Thrive Society, go to kikiramsey.com and you'll see the link where you can click on Thrive Society. And I look forward to seeing you in the community. That way I can get to know you better and coach you on a personal level. But I'm always going to be back here as well. And so if this is what you need, then great. But if you want something a little bit deeper where you can connect personally with me, because I can't coach a lot of people one-on-one because I run 2 major companies and I'm always doing something, and I teach at Life University. But this is my way that I can do that. And so I really do hope to see some of you in the community where we can begin to grow together and I can help you personally. All right, y'all. I love you. I can't wait to see you on the next class. Share this video with someone who you think needs it, someone who you care about. And then the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to get off for real, I'm going to be live this year at Thrive 25. It is my own personal conference where I'm going deep with women. It's called Thrive 25 Women's Conference. We're going to do this thing in person. It is here in Atlanta, Georgia on July the 12th and 13th of this year. Make plans to be there. The early bird right now is still going on. So go ahead, get your. I love y'all, and I will see y'all on the next class or either in Thrive Society. Take care, y'all.